Okay, here we go. Early August here, Monday. I'm Tom Novak. This is your Adisseo and Novak weather update for August. Now we're taking a look at the 30 days here that are ahead of us. And of course, what we like to do, at least originally, is look at what has happened, especially on the precipitation front. And take a look at this. This is over the last 30 days. This is estimated by radar, but no surprise here. Much of these plain states, anywhere west of the Mississippi River, experienced for the most part a pretty dry July. There were some strips of heavier rains and thunderstorms. You can see them here that extended into portions of the Corn Belt. But no doubt, a good chunk of the upper Midwest, central, southern plains have been dry, and their drought conditions continue to increase there. Meanwhile, over the southeastern and much of the eastern U.S., plenty of moisture, except for portions of the northeast and the northern mid-Atlantic areas. They could use some rain there. I think they're going to get it this month. And look at this. This is actually kind of interesting. The portions of the desert southwest from the Rockies on west, more moisture than usually what they get. All right. And by the way, this is a pattern that's going to be in place here probably through August as another high pressure system or a high pressure system continues to dig in over the central and southern sections of the U.S. as it did in July. And that's going to exacerbate the drought conditions over much of the central portions of the U.S. You can see it here with the jet stream, the River Ver at 30 to 35,000 feet. And we're looking at the first 10 days or so here of August. And this is just a pattern that I think is going to continue through much of the month of August. And what you're seeing is more of a west to east flow, or what we call a zonal flow across North America. But what is really important here is that the jet stream, for the most part, is going to be located north of the international border. Here's the United States-Canadian border, and the jet stream will be located, for the most part, north up into central Canada. That's going to let warm air build over southern Canada and much of the heart of the United States as this high pressure system, as I mentioned, continues to anchor itself over the heart of the United States. And of course, that would bring more of a desert southwesterly flow up into much of the United States and southern Canada. And I think, again, that's what we're going to have here as we go through time. You can see it when we look at the anomalies. These are the heights in the atmosphere. Blue areas are contracting areas of the atmosphere, and of course orange and red areas are rising heights, or what would likely be a high pressure system and ridge that builds. And you can see that here as we get into this coming weekend. So this is now still early August, but look at how this ridge builds over much of the United States. And that continues. This is the GFS computer model guidance, by the way. This is the American computer model. And look at what it does as we head into mid-August. The pattern doesn't change much as we get a large high-pressure ridge over the central U.S., a pumped-up area, a heat dome over the United States, especially the central and northern United States. And then we get a bit of a trough over the northeast. So that's going to be the trend here through August. Building heat over a good chunk or the heart of the U.S. And as you get on the extremes of the coasts of the United States, so the northeastern sections of the United States, the southern sections of the United States, especially the deep south and then extreme northwest, those are the areas that are likely going to experience some cooler conditions than average, along with the desert southwest. All right. GFS computer model, just to take a peek at the precipitation here over the next couple of weeks. And this also paints a pretty distinct story here on what's going to happen. And it's bad news for the plain states and northern sections of the United States. Look at this continued dry area anywhere west of the Mississippi to about the Rocky Mountains. So the plains of states of the United States, portions of the upper Midwest, the western Corn Belt, and then extending north into southern Canada. So we'd be talking about Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and even portions of Alberta. These areas, I think, are going to be dry, or at least drier than normal. Meanwhile, the eastern 1/3 of the United States looks to be quite wet. And that continues that trend where they've got plenty of moisture here in the southeastern United States. But look at how much more rain they're expecting during at least the first 2-3 weeks of August. And then here comes some tropical moisture that surges north into the desert southwest and portions of the central Rocky Mountains. They need rain down there, so that's great news for them. But yes, you get west along or west of the Mississippi River, which is right here, I'm very concerned about drought conditions digging in further in these sections of the United States and portions of southern Canada. You can see this here with my precipitation expectations here through the month of August. There it is, below normal precipitation from Texas on north into southern Canada, while the eastern U.S. continues to experience significant rains. As far as the temperatures are concerned, boy, it's going to be hot, at least hot for August standards, much above normal temperatures for about at least the northern one half of the United States, especially west of the Great Lakes region, and desert Southwest, a little bit cooler than normal. And then as we get up into central and northern Canada, cooler than normal. But screaming message here is that about 2/3 of the United States are going to be warmer or much above average as far as temperatures are concerned. Last but not least, here's your drought indexed map. This came out late last week, but look at this. Look at how the drought is continuing to expand over much of the central United States. It's actually starting to expand further north too, into South Dakota, southern Minnesota, then eventually maybe even further north from there as we go through August. Meanwhile, we have no worries about precipitation over much of the eastern U.S., even the northeastern U.S., which has been dry. I think they're going to get some rain here as we go through the month of August, along with the desert Southwest. This is great news for them. They were under some serious drought conditions even just a few months ago, but they've been getting plenty of rain lately out there. All right, one more time. I can't stress this enough. I'm very concerned about drought conditions over Texas, Oklahoma, portions of Kansas and Missouri, extending north eventually into portions of the western Corn Belt. All right, that's your 30-day forecast from Adisseo and Novak Weather. Appreciate you joining me. Have a great month.